Well, here we are. It's been quite some time since I've recorded an episode of Great Sorgia at Dawn here on YouTube. And best believe it will also be on Spotify very soon. So, yeah, it's been indeed quite some weeks now, has it? Well, this is your host, Isaiah Peters, and I'm going to try to get a quick episode in tonight. So, without further ado, Great Sorgia at Dawn, Episode 8. In 3, 2, 1. Several days had passed since that night, and it was now March 13th. It was a cloudy day in Thorsburg when Sejani was quietly preparing breakfast alongside Ashanti and Naomi in the Swell's house kitchen. Sitting in the dining room were James, Kevin, Minerva, and Amari. Minerva was quietly listening to the others discussing how they were going to slay Hayato and his remaining followers, Takashi and Haruki. Fearing for them silently, Minerva sighed quietly before she got up and resumed cutting carrots with Ashanti. And oh my god, is my allergies killing me right now. Are you okay, sweetie? Ashanti whispered to Minerva. I'm scared for our new friends, Miss Woe, Minerva replied. And even though days have passed, I hope Haruki especially will be okay. He's already suffering, should not have to watch his grandfather and brother die in all this horrific mess. Well, baby, hopefully they will all be okay. Ashanti gently patted Minerva's left shoulder. And what about that young lady? What's her name again? Song Kim? And yes, she's okay so far. Minerva placed some chopped carrots in a nearby bowl. Mother treats her well, but father is just... She dared not to finish what she was about to say in spite of herself. Your father and my husband are so similar. Sometimes I just can't understand it, Ashanti said with a small sigh. Naomi, dear, have you heard from Ronald recently? He's training Tyrone at the Fight Stone. Naomi gently started cutting some apples. Tyrone is a cool and energetic dude, she happily continued. Stay away from my little brother, Minerva giggled with her, Ashanti and Sejani. Minerva, Sejani then asked. Yes, Sejani. You have a great heart. The young Orm beamed with happiness. Takala's very lucky to have you. Yeah, Naomi nodded her head. At this, Minerva blushed. Thank you. And how is Tokala and his friends doing, put in? Ashanti smiled at the young, dark green-haired woman. Oh, they are well, Miss Woe. Minerva blushed even harder just then. Tokala was so protective and sweet last night. Just then, she noticed James and her father, Kevin, watching her. Instinctively, Minerva lowered her voice for a brief moment. Takala is going to train me starting today. Aw, how cute! Naomi had to cover her own mouth to keep from being too loud. Big Bro is really going to be making my sweet and cuddly girl a strong one. Ow! She then high-fived to Minerva. Okay, let us feed everyone. Ashanti got the carrots and apples with the delicious eggs, cheesed up rice, and freshly made bacon. Right, Sejani, Minerva, and Naomi said in perfect unison. Later that morning, sometime after she was having coffee with Ashanti, Minerva was walking with Sejani and Song toward the war tent that housed the Death Stingers gang. There, Tokal and Sunga were playing dominoes. Aaron was reading from a map of Roveria, and there was a young woman with dreadlocks similar to that Tokala's. She was wearing a green and purple dress, wore gold sandals, and wore a headscarf. The moment she noticed Minerva, she immediately waved at her. Hi, Minerva, she said loudly. Her name was Dakota Som, and she was the older sister of Tokala. Hey, Dakota, Minerva waved back and wasted no time in giving her a hug. How are you? I am great. Screw the formalities. Are you ready to learn how to become a warrior at the Death Stingers? Dakota asked excitedly. Yes, Minerva nodded her head calmly. I must. I cannot and will not let my man do everything by himself anymore. Excuse me, Dakota laughed. Your precious man and also my brother do have us to help him. She casually placed her hand on her hip and smiled with great, genuine joy in spite of the chaos that had plagued Roveria for some time since the Sail Warriors had been on the run. Allergies, man. What can I tell you? Wow. So this is one of the areas where the Death Stingers tend to reside at. Song was pleasantly amazed as she looked in awe. My name is Song Kim, Dakota. She offered her hand to her. Dakota immediately grabbed Song and hugged her. Come here, little lady. Oh, look at you. She didn't let go of her. Name's Dakota Som, proud elder sister of that man over there. She pointed at Tokala with strong pride. Song immediately looked at Tokala as he and Sunga casually traded playful jabs at each other as they concluded their game. Oh, yeah, he's a cool dude. Song happily nodded slowly. Guy's a relaxed badass I've heard and seen. She then laughed as Sunga playfully knocked the dominoes off the table. You fucking cheating ass motherfucker, Sunga shouted as he pointed to Tokala's face. Crossing his arms with a jolly grin, Tokala smirked. I did not cheat, bro. I really did not. Liar, Sunga continued. Aaron, who won, cuz? Aaron, still studying the map, sighed with a smile. Tokala, no doubt. Bitches. Sunga grabbed Tokala and gave him a brotherly nuggie. Are they always like this? Sung asked Minerva. Very much. She smiled at the two men. Would you like to spar with me? She gently held Sung's hands. I think I had enough fighting for a while. Franklin trains me enough every day, Sung answered softly. How so? Minerva remained calm and gentle. The guy has supernatural powers. Yeah, he shoots dark magic at me and expects me to dodge all of them as if I am some ninja or something. Sung quietly laughed. I just hope he is okay and not dead somewhere with his sick ass. Sick indeed, Minerva thought as she sat down and helped herself to some chicken stew, made by Dakota. Made by Dakota. This is so delicious. She pulled out some coins from her traveler's bag and handed them to Dakota. Hey, thank you, Minerva. Dakota smiled warmly. Yo, Sunga called out to Sejani. What you doing here today? Sejani immediately gasped with nervousness. I'm just traveling a bit with Minerva and the new girl. Come throw your cute little hands with me. Sunga started walking toward her with great enthusiasm. Takala burst into laughter. Bro, you're diabolical. Don't go too hard on her now. Someone has to. Sunga kept walking. Oh, shit. Takala carefully placed the freshly made joint down for Sunga. Raised them hands. Despite telling her, Sunga simply took Sejani by her hands and raised them for her. Oh my, Sejani immediately blushed. You're so daring, Sunga. As daring as they come, Sunga agreed merrily. Now fight me. Sunga, Minerva laughed heartily. You can't just do that with her. And why the fuck not? Sunga laughed just as hard. She royalty or something? Sunga. Sejani picked up a lone iron staff lying on the ground. I will fight you, but, she gulped hard. You sort of scare me. Ha. That's the spirit, Sunga sheathed his hunting knife. Tell you what, Sejani, I'll fight you unarmed while you use that staff. Aight? He then smiled devilishly at her. Kick my ass, and you even get to keep that staff. It is a cool staff, Sejani admired the black and sapphire staff. Where did you get it? Oh, I stole it. Sunga! Sejani and Minerva exclaimed in disbelief while Sung chuckled. What? You really stole the damn staff? Sung studied the Sunga's knife. And I suppose you also took your blade from somebody too, right? Nope, Sunga smiled at her. Actually, Sung, I crafted the knife myself, with Tokala and Aaron's help. Sunga, where can I learn to make weapons? She then asked. Sung, Minerva chuckled. When you beat the bricks off me, Sunga answered. Say less, boy. Sung tied her hair into a ponytail. I like you already. Sunga was overjoyed. Come, fight me. And so, Sung and Sejani immediately were put to the test against Sunga, with Minerva nervously watching while Tokala and Dakota also helped themselves to the stew. Sunga, as one could expect, was certainly no easy opponent, and Sejani was struggling to keep up with his intense ferocity. Sung, on the other hand, was strong and resilient, able to not only keep up with Sunga, but even put enough pressure on him to make him fight more defensively. Aaron, having finished reading the map, then walked toward the young warriors battling and gently cleared his throat before announcing that the match was now over. Ah, the fight was just getting good, bro. Sunga wiped sweat from his forehead. Yeah, didn't think I would be so strong, right? Sung shoved Sunga with a mischievous grin. You owe me more lessons. Yo, gang, Sunga turned to Tokala and Aaron. She's fucking awesome. Can she stay with us? Yeah, why not? Tokala shrugged. I mean, As long as she wants to learn a thing or two from us, I don't see the problem. Anyway, he shot Minerva a glance. Baby, you ready? Yes. Minerva braced herself with an endearing smile. Don't be staring at her ass either, Sunga quipped. Shut the fuck up, Sunga. Tokala and surprisingly, even Minerva shot as they and the others laughed for the next 2 minutes before everyone devoted themselves to training for the next hour and a half. Afterwards, everyone was quietly enjoying the rest of the stew when Song suddenly started thinking about Franklin. Meanwhile, at Norsen, hours later, within Roveria's capital, Norsen, the Direx's cleric, Franklin, was quietly enjoying a bowl of grapes as a group of guards was staring at him with unease. That gelled black hair, sinister vibe, pale skin, and dark ceremonial clothes, said a female guard. I really can't believe that's really him. And even after several days of constant interrogation, Franklin remains calm and just, replied a male guard before a much younger guard simply nodded his head. Stop talking as if I am not present, you silly souls, Franklin said chillingly. Or must I have to slay more of you? You better shut your ass up. You're lucky that even Prince Caspar fears you, the female guard snapped. Oh, really? Franklin turned toward her with an amused expression. The mighty Caspar boy fears me too. Eliza! The other guard, a young man dressed in a brown vest, blue pants, wore a red shirt, and a pair of brown boots, said, yeah, that was delayed. His name, Zrakhan. You can't let him know that. Elisa Va, the more fearful guard, quietly sighed. I'm just making this part up as I go because I don't want to bore you out the description. But anyway, yo, James walked toward them, brutally killed the much older guard, leaving Zrak and Elisa horrified, and then glared at Franklin. I took a long trip just to see you, pussy. Oh my, how fun. Franklin glared back even harder. Did you miss me, bitch? Oh shit, Zrak facepalmed. Another day at this? Yes. James immediately bashed Zrak in his chest. Punk-ass motherfucker, if you and that bitch Elisa done your job, this deranged fuck over there may not have slain more guards. I would have killed more of them regardless, you giant dolt. Franklin's smile was twisted and cold. You wish to die today? James started banging against Franklin's cell. You will fight me, right this instant. Whew, Franklin yawned. Is that all you're good at, Mr. Swoe? Being loud, fiery, and extremely vulgar? Yes. Then you better run along, James the pussy, or I will easily kill you, since you'll be so easy to control. Surprisingly, instead of losing his cool, James simply chuckled. You know, I could kill you right now and be done with it. James smiled coldly at the cleric. How would you like that? Go ahead if you dare, Franklin challenged him. Besides, death is a very precious aspect of being alive. Wouldn't you leave James gave it thought. Wouldn't that leave your little woman alone and defenseless? I could do the same to her. And then you will be subject to a most brutal death by my dark spiritual hands, General. Franklin spoke coldly. Trust me, James. There's little that you could say to scare me. Now, let me out so that we may fight. He then chuckled back. James obliged. And then, Franklin was immediately struck the moment he exited his cell. Fight me, bitch ass, James kicked him. You or me, get up. He then started thrashing the cleric with brute force. But then, Franklin rose up and quietly laughed, but with a dark smile. You could kill me if you dare, but know this. Franklin threw a fierce jab at the general. You are seconds away from dying the cruelest death I can deliver. James spat to the ground and smiled menacingly. You really think you have the balls to kill me, young blood? Ha 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 ha. How foolish. Should we help? Elisa asked. I would strongly advise against it. Zrak replied quickly, clutching his chest. You're all alone, boy. A pathetic, death-loving menace such as you have no business being with that just as pathetic Piscinia chick who'll die eventually. James raised one of his gold swords high. You really believe she would happily stay by your side? You took her into your little stupid-ass religion where you people praise unholy shit. He then scoffed. I'm surprised the dumb little bitch ain't killed herself yet. General, Franklin's eyes burned with a bright purple color. You better shut your filthy mouth if you understand your swift punishment coming your way. His hands also glowed brightly. Oh, did I strike a nerve, pussy boy? She's gonna die eventually. If not my favorite little concubine, Franklin. Then, Franklin suddenly stopped glowing and simply clasped his bony hands together. Dear unholy darkness, grant me your power in this great moment I feel of seething rage and fury. Pray all you like, it will not save your girl. No, excuse me, your supposed girl. Kneel, McKemlick. Franklin hurled a massive black ball of condensed, burning heat at James' face, scalding the large and powerful general. James yelled with intense fury and agony in his already intimidatingly loud and strong voice as Eliza and Zrock watched with sheer fear in their eyes. I will kill you, cleric of Dyrexism! James then swung both swords rapidly at Franklin, who quickly parried him repeatedly with his supernatural abilities. Die! 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 He managed to slash Franklin, but the cleric wasn't easy to kill. So, Franklin then enveloped James in shadows and then telekinetically slammed James against the cell before more guards rushed in to see what the commotion was. Blast! Franklin seized his hold of James and made a run for it. Now, we enter Chapter 9. 17 minutes in, let's get this chapter out. Chapter 9. Later that evening, within Roveria's small, peaceful, and mostly empty land known as the Chicken's Rest, Franklin, who managed to finally escape from James, found himself quietly resting on a sack of hay. It was then he spotted two familiar people walking together under the moonlight as the cleric tried to stay hidden in the barn. That's Samurai Jester and his brother, Franklin said cautiously as he watched Takashi and Haruki picking apples from the ground next to an apple tree. What are they doing here? He asked himself. Brother, do you think grandfather likes to watch you brood all day? Haruki casually asked Takashi. You're one to talk, Mr. Sirius, Takashi replied with small laughter. Just then, Catherine approached the two and happily handed Takashi a sandwich. Arigato gozaimasu, Kiyosarin-sama. Catherine smiled sweetly at the Samurai Jester. Yiva Sinpri. She understands Toshinese quite well, Haruki said with mild suspicion. She has been helping us for days since grandfather was shot by that foul James Swirl brother. Takashi then sighed. Seriously, I have no reason to suspect Catherine would turn against us. And for the record, Haruki, please remember that even though we fought days earlier at Thorsberg, the circumstances were different, Catherine said with slight annoyance. You must learn to trust more than just me and grandfather, Haruki. That's all I'm saying, Takashi continued. Now, let us return to him. Haruki groaned. Catherine rolled her eyes before she gently took Takashi by his left arm. They failed to see me. Good, Franklin smiled. That blasted James sword struck my left leg quite hard. It is a miracle I didn't just... I am so glad I didn't lose a limb. Anyway, he studied his surroundings. It would be incredibly stupid of me to return to Thorsberg with James and the authorities certainly on my tail. But if I am to ensure Song's safety and survival, I must head there with no delay. So, despite his pain, Franklin started making his way for Thorsberg. In the meantime, Grandfather! Takashi walked quietly into the living room Hayato sat comfortably in. How are you holding up? I am well, my dear grandson. Hayato left calmly with a slight cough. Erwin, I must say you have a wonderful place. He bowed his head to him gracefully. Thank you. Erwin happily guzzled down his cup of birka while Hayato started to drink some sake. You may come in too, young Catherine, Hayato said politely. You are more than welcome. The Shimarian Ursha walked into the room with Haruki slowly entering after. You have been very good to my grandsons, Lady Catherine, Hayato continued as he toasted Erwin. You appear to have a very bright future, and I would like for you to take Takashi and Haruki into the future with you. Catherine gave the elderly samurai a wide grin. Of course, Lord Hayato. Grandfather, Haruki said quietly, looking at Hayato, then to the floor. Chin up, Haruki. You have to be strong for Takashi. Hayato then laughed, but his cough continued, this time more strained. I will not be going anywhere yet. There is still more for me to teach. Sniffling, Takashi quietly gave Hayato a sandwich. Catherine simply placed a hand on Takashi's shoulder. I will do my best to make sure they are cared for, Catherine thought as she glanced at Haruki, who was quietly shaking. It is also important that Takashi continues to master the way of the Seiyu clan warrior, Hayato continued. As for my ninja, Haruki, make sure he is well educated. I can see him being more suited for military tactics. Yes, make him a strategist, for he is already too frail and smart for mere physical combat. Of course, Catherine nodded her head respectfully. Go ahead, my grandsons. Hayato gave the samurai ninja a warm, pleasant smile. I love you both dearly with all my heart. Good night. He then got up and walked into the guest room to sleep on the couch. Are you going to be okay? Catherine asked the young warriors. Takashi nodded silently, while Haruki merely sighed as he and his brother soon went into their own rooms. Then, when dawn arrived, Hayato was heard coughing loudly, and it was bad. Very, very, very bad. He was coughing up large chunks of blood, and so Takashi, Haruki, Erwin, and Catherine all rushed into the guest room, all of whom were abruptly awoken by the intense coughing from the old warrior. Seeing this, Takashi started to panic. Oji-chan! Oji-chan! Daijoubu! Takashi held his grandfather's head tenderly while frantically rubbing his chest. Grandfather! Haruki moved just as frantically, hurriedly looking for a bottle of water and quickly found one. Drink, grandfather, drink! He carefully poured the water down his grandfather's throat, but soon after, Hayato quietly died after reaching for both Haruki and Takashi with a small, warm grin on his face. Oji-chan, Oji-chan, Oji-chan! Takashi's eyes, already watering, started burning as streams of tears fell from his eyes as he struggled to maintain his composure. And so, later that morning, Hayato was quietly and carefully buried in Erwin's backyard. There, Takashi and Haruki silently paid their respect to their late grandfather, while Catherine and Erwin were offering quiet support for the brothers. Then, after saying their farewells, Takashi and Haruki found themselves treading the chicken's rest alongside Catherine and Erwin. Walking between the two, the Shimari princess studied the two carefully and thought to herself, I wonder how they are feeling. She started to ask them, but they appeared emotionally distant, effectively shut off at that moment. We will be fine, my lady, Takashi spoke quietly with a small, gentle, yet forced smile. There's little need for you to concern yourself about us. He then gently tapped Haruki. Isn't that right, brother? I suppose, Takashi. Haruki's voice was completely void of any emotion. We must keep moving, after learning of that troubling news while burying grandfather. Oui, which means we must hurry to my forces, stationed at the small Wild Forks bar, Catherine replied. Then she thought, I left most of my military under the care of my cousin Brittany. I pray she is leading our people well in my absence. Right now I must help these two here with me. She then watched Haruki closely and continued in her thoughts. Lord Hayato said that the ninja is the more cynical and standoffish one. I need to learn how to help him in this difficult time. Hey, my lady, Erwin quietly spoke. Listen, my family is under constant strife with that General James Swoe. And let me guess, you wish to protect your people from that cold man, right? Catherine asked. I've seen firsthand back when I invaded Thorsburg just how strong and vicious James could be. Yes, go and protect young Amari and your sister. Bless you, Princess Catherine. Erwin then wished Takashi and Haruki good luck and went about his way, making for Thorsberg. Eventually, after a long and mostly quiet time, the three managed to reach the Wild Forks bar, where Guanjin was seated beside Xander and Jonathan. And wouldn't you know it, there's also, take a wild fucking guess everyone, yep, Franklin, who was enjoying a small round of green birka known as the venomous snakehead. Murde, what are you doing here, Franklin? Catherine pulled out her rapier. Speak this instant. Franklin simply smiled at her. Answer me, Catherine demanded. I've no wish to fight you, Catherine girl. As a matter of fact, the cleric laughed calmly. You would benefit from an alliance with me. What do you say? At this, Catherine facepalmed angrily. Then she sighed while placing a hand on her left hip. Fine, whatever. Make your terms. You see, I am in a hurry to return to Thorsberg and reunite with Song Kim, my dear disciple, Franklin stated before casually drinking more of his beverage. That poor young lady spending time with a demented psycho such as you? Catherine shook her head. You've no right to be leading her. And you've no right to lead these two warriors beside you, Franklin pointed at Takashi and Haruki. I am aware of what happened to their leader, their cherished grandfather. He then examined the look on the brothers' faces and nodded his head. Forgive me, but is their leader dead? Yes, Takashi answered before Catherine could answer. Why, I see. Catherine girl came to your rescue at your possibly worst time, much like how I am to Song. Franklin got up from his seat. Do you see the parallel, Princess? He stood before Catherine. Shit. I hate when you're right, Catherine rolled her eyes. And he could be of good use for us in the fight against James or even the Roverian Urja himself, Xander added while wolfing down some delicious food. I'm going to be honest. I'm very much afraid of Urja Benjamin Durr, but I will make sure my kingdom sees peace, and more importantly, that this long and fucking arduous Great Sorgian War finally comes to an end. The princess rubbed the back of her head. Okay, Franklin, are you able to protect me, the Seos, and my 3 other associates? I should be able to, Your Majesty. However, the Dirax's clegg showed Catherine his slash wound. I was recently in a fierce battle against James Swoe during my escape from imprisonment. I see. Here, take this. She gave Franklin a small bottle of a fresh turquoise beverage with a strong minty scent. That is known as Life Sweat, a potent cream that can be applied to wounds and also edible. Do what you will. Hold on. You have my thanks, Catherine girl. Franklin then applied some of the creamy drink to his wound before drinking the remainder of it. Neo Mikhila. His hands glowed before he gently placed his hands against the wound for just a few seconds. I've been trying to heal this blasted wound for some time now. Well, you should heal pretty fast thanks to my trusted medicine, made from the best doctors in Shamaria, Catherine said proudly. And combined with your magic, the healing process would surely be accelerated. Precisely. Franklin smiled too. Granted, he was still in his usual haunting manner. There are wild horses nearby. We will use them to make great haste for Thorsberg. Then that's what we will do then. And so, upon fighting horses, everyone ventured hurriedly for Thorsberg. And thus concludes Chapter 9. Well, that's that. Got another episode out. I will see you all next time. God bless.